Yesterday, our community experienced a tragic act of violence that has impacted families, neighbors, that has impacted our entire city. Today, we pause to honor the lives that were lost and the families forever changed. Today, we remember Jayla Elkins, age 3, Shayla Elkins, age 5, Kayla Pugh, age 6, Layla Pugh, age 7, Makadam Pugh, age 10, Zariah Snow, age 11, Conundrum Snow, age 6, Braylon Snow, age 5, and to all of their families. So before I go on, will you just pause for a minute for a moment of silence as we honor them? Thank you. We lift up the Elkins family, the Pugh family, the Snow family. We're facing unmitigated losses. We're also mindful of our survivors, including 2 women and a 13-year-old child. We ask that you would keep them in your prayers and as they continue to recover from their injuries, the uncertain times ahead.
Wow. An unbelievably tragic situation down there in Louisiana. On April 19th, 2026, Shamar Elkins, a former Army National Guard member, put that in your hat right there, former Army National Guard member, committed what is considered one of the worst domestic mass shootings, family sides, in Louisiana state history. He shot 10 people in total. He killed 8 children. 8 children, including 7 of his own. And he killed a nephew and cousin of one of the nephews, I guess one of his nephews. All the victims were between 3 and 11 years old. Those children were somebody's world. And their mother's still alive. That's the really horrific part. She was one of the people who was shot. She was the mother of 4 of the victims. Another partner, another one of his ex-partners, I guess he shot one of his baby mamas as well. She was the mother of 3 victims. She survived also. Both his wife and his ex-girlfriend, his baby mama, both survived, but now have lost 7 children between them. 7 children. He carried out this domestic shooting across 2 homes, targeting his own family. This is just awful. Some victims were reportedly shot in their beds or while trying to escape. So these children were fleeing for their lives, and their own father and their own cousin killed them. After the shootings, Elkins fled the scene. He carjacked a vehicle and led police on a chase, and he was fatally shot by police during the confrontation. So he committed suicide by cop, basically. Authorities say it was a domestic violence-driven event, likely triggered by a separation divorce dispute from his wife and reports of emotional distress and mental health struggles. His wife was divorcing him. In one of the news clips I saw, one of their neighbors was saying that they were supposed to actually be in court the next day to get divorced. And he does this the day before. And his family said that he had been talking about being in darkness for a while, and that he was struggling with demons. And he told his father, I believe it was his father, he said, everybody doesn't come back from the darkness. This is so there were absolutely warning signs. He allegedly threatened in the past to harm his family and himself. He had a prior weapons-related arrest in 2019, so why exactly did he even have these weapons in the first place? Wow. The weapon he used was an AR-style pistol. Think about it. That is what people use to hunt. And he actually murdered children, his own family, targeted his own family with these. Another man, for some reason, Charles Ford, was later charged federally for illegal possession of the gun that he used to kill those kids and lying to investigators. Wow. Authorities believe Elkins may have taken or accessed the weapon illegally. So, you know, this is another one of those things that a lot of pro-gun people say, like, criminals are going to get guns regardless of whether they're legal or illegal. But the scale of this tragedy is just something that I think we as a society, as a community, particularly the black community, will have to come to terms with for a very long time. 8 children. 8 children. 7 belonging to this one man. One of the deadliest U.S. mass killings in recent times. Considered a family annihilation case. Just think about that term, family annihilation. So unbelievably overwhelming to even process. Family annihilation. It's like what you see in Gaza or what you're seeing in Lebanon right now. That's when you see family annihilation. You see whole bloodlines of people wiped out. That's family annihilation. It's sickening. Absolutely sickening. You know, the thing that makes this even more, I guess maybe distressing, is that this wasn't a random mass shooting. It was an extreme domestic violence case where there were lots of warning signs. These victims were this man's own children. Own children. And, you know, this man, Shamar Elkins, had recently been hospitalized for mental health issues. And so he had gotten some help, but apparently not enough. Family members said that he expressed dark thoughts and suicidal ideation shortly before the killing. And this is one of the things I understand, but I don't understand, because they said he attempted suicide himself a few months earlier. He attempted suicide. And so this combination of suicidal ideation and a crisis period is one of the strongest predictors of family-side, especially when tied to relationship breakdowns. I never understand why these people killed everybody and themselves. If you want to kill yourself, I mean, I don't agree with that. As a Christian, I don't believe in suicide. I think suicide is obviously against God and against the teachings that we learn about what life is worth. And your life has value. I don't care how bad off it is. Your life has some value. I don't believe in suicide. I think maybe you can, if you know somebody is locked in syndrome or is terminally ill, I think you can make the argument that, you know, for a certain euthanasia or something like that, you know, what Dr. Kevorkian and people like that used to do, I think you can make the argument for that. But suicide itself, just killing yourself because things suck in your life, I think that's against God. And I think that's against the gift of life that we have here on this planet. But what's even more against that is killing everybody else. I mean, come on, bro. You have your own crisis. You have to take everybody else out too? Wow. Shamar Elkins was in a contentious separation and custody dispute with the court date. I told you, they said they were going to be in court, was supposed to be in court this Monday. And relatives said that he was emotionally devastated about losing his wife and family. So he kills them? So he kills him? Now, people, their relatives said that years earlier, he told his partner that if she left him, he would kill her, the children, and himself. So he told them what he was going to do. This is a major red flag. In domestic violence risk assessment, direct threats to kill family members are among the highest risk indicators of future lethal violence. In 2019, he was also prior convicted for illegal use of a firearm, including firing during near a school. And despite legal restrictions, he still gained access to a gun. So, with as many guns, we have 400 million guns in this country. 330 million people, 400 million guns. More guns than people in this society. That's another thing we have to look in the mirror and sort of ask ourselves about, even though I do on some level support the Second Amendment. I'm not sure, even as somebody who supports the Second Amendment in terms of self-defense, I'm not sure if us being awash in the level of guns that we have is a good idea. I'm not particularly sure that's a good idea. And the thing is, to the public at large, to their neighbors, he was able to project a normal facade. That's the thing I got from hearing from their neighbors. He even posted affectionate content with his kids just a few days earlier. So this was a man who was able to put out a facade while he was completely deteriorating mentally, that he was this happy family man. This type of mismatch, a calm exterior versus internal crisis, is common in these cases and makes intervention harder, but not impossible. So there was a rapid escalation window. The timeline suggested that a fast-moving crisis that was tied to his relationship conflict, meaning his divorce, his emotional breakdown, his suicidal ideation, and access to guns. So what exactly do you do in these type of situations? Officials emphasize the need for stronger domestic violence prevention systems. The city has itself of Shreveport had ongoing issues described as an epidemic of domestic violence. Even though the police said that they weren't aware of the prior reports, family testimony suggests risk existed outside of the formal systems. And so this is look, man, this dude was barred from legally possessing firearms, still got his hands on one. What do you do in these types of cases? One thing I will say is that a lot of these dudes are military. Have you guys noticed that? A lot of these people are military, ex-military. And I've talked about it on this show. 23 military veterans kill themselves every day in this country. 23. Like, military guys are really, and women are really some of the most at-risk people in our society, in our culture. And I can't help but fighting these endless wars, having to be in a persistent state of readiness. Even if you're somebody who hasn't seen combat, you're trained to be able to do combat just in case, And our military is producing a lot of people with really horrific mental issues. Really horrific mental issues. And there's obviously a culture of silence within our military. We talked about that not too long ago when we talked about the case of, I believe her name was Shoshana Johnson, I want to say. What was the woman who was killed, and many people think that she was murdered, but the Army ruled it as a suicide. There's a lot of people who are, especially women, who are assaulted and killed under wraps. In the military, you have the culture of silence in the military, and then you have our culture of silence in the black community. Call it what it is. I'm just going to be real here. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this segment. There's a huge contingency of people in our community who don't believe in mental health issues, who don't believe in therapy, who don't believe in getting help. This is one of the reasons that I found the Kanye West case so intriguing personally, because I've been saying for years that Kanye obviously was mentally ill. He had been hospitalized. His wife had him committed at one point. He's been diagnosed with bipolar disorder. He talked about killing himself. But yet we as a community still just say, oh, Kanye said this, Kanye did that, I don't like him no more. We are a community that does not take mental health issues seriously at all. We really don't, especially black men. I've heard more brothers say, I just go to the gym. I go to the gym. Mike Tyson went to the gym every day of his life. Look, I love Mike. He's my favorite athlete of all time. Okay? Mike Tyson's my guy. But the guy's nuts. Okay? At least he was. He seems to be doing a little bit better now. You know, you have guys like Dennis Rodman. You look at some of the best athletes we've ever had in the black community who spent much of their lives in gyms. Much of their lives hitting heavy bags and working out and pumping iron. Apparently, that's not an adequate solution to trauma. Obviously, that is not a successful way to handle your issues. I'm going to just go to the gym, or I'm going to just hang out with my boys, or I'm going to just smoke a blunt. Man, come on, bro. And I think that a lot of it comes from fear. A lot of it comes from fear. We as men do not like to be vulnerable. Once something happens to us, we don't like to talk about it again. We don't like it brought up. A lot of it is cowardice. I'll call it what it is. The inability to be willing to face those issues. Drug issues, alcohol issues, the trauma that comes from being in the military, the trauma that comes from being, abandoned. A lot of us come from single parent homes. A lot of us have, not me personally, but a lot of people in our community have fathers that abandoned them or mothers that abandoned them. A lot of people in our community are dealing with being sexually abused, molested as children, being beaten as children. I don't know Shamar Elkins' particular issue, but I guarantee you there's some of that in his past. I guarantee it. I virtually guarantee it that he was not somebody who had a perfectly good childhood to end up in the mental state that he ended up in. And whatever happened to him, it should have been headed off at the past while it happened. And now, because this man only somewhat was able to deal with his issues, it looks like he got a little bit of help, but was not consistently getting the type of treatment he needed. You have 8 people, 8 children, 8 babies. 8 babies who are somebody's world gone. And now they're mothers. They're mothers. Both of them. Of those 7 children, of his 7 children, the 8th kid, I don't know who his parents are, but good God, man. How do you get the strength to even go on after experiencing what those people are experiencing? All I can say is we really have to pray. Pray for those mothers, the parents of the 8th child, the nephew, because it is going to be hard for them to ever be able to live a normal life again after what happened in that house of horrors in Louisiana. And everybody, I swear, here in Gary, south side of Chicago, you have to be on the lookout for the signs. We all know people, especially military people who've been, in these wars, and black men who are dealing with horrific traumas, abuse, and everything else. We really got to do a better job of convincing our brothers, uncles, and fathers to get some help. And sons, all of that. All right, folks, when we come back, do black men in general, do we need therapy? Do we need therapy? Oh, man. We'll be right back after these. here on Straight Out of the Cannon with me, Scott Cannon. Please give us a call, 219-885-1371. The number, again, 219-885-1371. See you on the other side.